Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another video here on Substack. This is also going up on YouTube. I've been getting a lot of questions about health, all the updates on that. So I figured I would do a chatty combined video. So in case you're on Substack and you don't know about YouTube, I do have lots of chatty videos there. A lot of them are older. I haven't kept up with it as much throughout the year, but I'm hoping that'll change soon. I personally love watching like vlog style videos and I want to create those, but I've been having a struggle because I really don't like being on my phone. And it's not about being embarrassed in public about filming, maybe a little bit of that. It's just more, it doesn't really fit me carrying around my phone. I try not to be on my phone all the time. And so I really don't know how I feel about that. So I apologize if that's the kind of content that you're interested in. Um, but I know that there's lots of people who like the chatty videos, and that's primarily what I have on YouTube right now. And I keep getting emails, seeing the comments, like, how are you doing? Like, what's the update? It's been a long time since I've given an update. So we're going to be doing a health update, kind of like my protocol for how I analyze and tweak things, how I manage my supplements, how I am doing overall, and then what else? What else are we going to talk about? Oh, mental fitness, a new thing that I love. It's a little bit trendy, but the principles of it are pretty much the same for me all the time. So I want to talk about kind of the whole broad spectrum of things and just general wellness, how I like kind of organize and do it all. So let's dive in. The update is that I'm still in remission. I had another colonoscopy, which if you're new here, I have Crohn's disease. I was diagnosed in 2020. It was an amazing time to be diagnosed because even though I couldn't just like go to the hospital, which was really scary at the time, I didn't miss out on life whatsoever because no one else was doing anything. I had just graduated college. It came on because of food poisoning, which was lovely, but because it came on so fast, that's kind of what I believe, what my doctors believe, that I was able to go into remission within 2 years, which is pretty quick. Only like literally weeks after being on medication though, um, specifically for Crohn's. So that's considered pretty fast, a fast turnaround. It was a really hard, long period of time, but now being beyond it, I'm very grateful because as I started to get better, I wanted to get a job, but no one was really getting jobs anyways. So I was basically kind of forced into starting my own business, which is something that I wanted to do down the road, but because of all of this being at home, I was like, you know what, why not work from my bed, start the business now, and just like, what do I have to lose? And it was truly that fuck it energy that To Be Magnetic is talking about. If you're a TVMer, I feel like there's a lot of overlap here. So hopefully you guys will know what I'm talking about. Um, if you're not, highly recommend checking it out. It completely changed my life, got me back in tune with my body. It helps me to understand the way that I think a lot more and how things are happening in life. It helps with like the detachment of not feeling like super serious about anything, and what's meant for me will come, and if not, I can just be chill and let it go. Even if it's a little bit hard, highly recommend checking it out. But I was doing that, and that really encouraged me as well to start my own business. So now I have Beck Creative. I do marketing and design. And then I also started the Lovely Digest because I didn't see a lot of women sharing on YouTube or on any social media platform about Crohn's and their journey. And I just felt really alone, and no one in my family has it, which is a little bit rare as well. So I wanted to connect and create a community with people. The Lovely Digest, I ended up stopping. It got really overwhelming and my business was taking off a bit more. So I also went into remission. Didn't feel like I had a ton to share, and I just was feeling a need for a pivot but didn't know what that was going to be yet. A couple of years later, the idea started percolating to create Renaissance Woman. So that's where we are today on Substack with Renaissance Woman. The pings kept coming, and eventually this whole idea became clear to me. And now it's like the best of the Lovely Digest is still ingrained in Renaissance women. It's just more about whole life, holistic living as a whole, less wellness and Crohn's specific. And we talk about all the intricacies of being a woman and life's transitions and all the magic of design and home things and weaving wellness into all of it. So if you're curious, I'll also link that below, or maybe you're just already watching on Substack, in which case you're here already. So I'm still in remission from Crohn's. Recently I did have a bit of a flare up of pelvic pain, which was a little bit new for me. Um, and I learned all about how you can have BV, a yeast infection, and a UTI all at once, and how they all trigger each other. So I really got to learn, which I knew about but hadn't really had to dive into, about the vaginal microbiome, and have since gotten through that phase. And I know so much more, and I'm on the other side of that. If you're curious to learn more about it, I can create a separate video. I know not everyone is into that or like needs to know about that. Um, Talking a little bit more about my whole experience. But on the other side of that, hopefully, it does take so long to heal. I was on antibiotics a lot in the last year because I had recurring strep, and that's kind of where that came on from. Um, so yeah, I learned a lot more. You always think that you know a lot, especially because I am a certified holistic health practitioner through the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. You think that you know a lot when you're in this field and you're constantly like you have your own health problems. You basically become like this self-proclaimed like master of your body, which is incredible. You know a lot, but there's always something new to learn and it's endless. And obviously I'm not a doctor, but sometimes I wish that I was, so that I could just know like what's going on all the time. But that's why I have friends who are doctors, so I can ask them, ask my GI doc in Boston who knows everything and is amazing. But anywho, what else? Okay, so I want to dive into the holistic life audits, which I've talked about a little bit on here on YouTube. On the Lovely Digest, I have an article with the Good Trade talking about this as well, but this is just truly what I come back to if life feels chaotic for you and you're having a lot of health issues, or just there's a lot going on everywhere and you're overwhelmed. Holistic life audits, and that's holistic with a W. Holistic life audits are what I do to look at every single area of life and rate it. Basically, it's this circle where you go on the scale. And if you're on Substack, I will include a picture below. And you basically rate every area. And then we can talk through, like, I have this whole post on breaking down the areas of life to make incremental changes every month to improve in these areas without it seeming super overwhelming. So I'm at this phase of life where I'm engaged. We're thinking about our wedding next year. We're thinking about a house and the next steps of becoming mom and dad and motherhood and health. And obviously, a lot of things, even if you're healthy, need to change in order to prepare for that. So we're thinking about that. And the Wheel of Life has been incredible for thinking through what needs to change in each area without it becoming overwhelming. Another thing that I've been thinking about is building my supplement routine, which again, none of this is not again, but I don't think I've said that already. None of this is sponsored. I don't have enough followers for that yet, which is fine. But I have been getting so bombarded with ads, as you can imagine, on every platform for different supplements. And one of the things that was recommended when I had full-blown Crohn's and was not in remission yet was taking um, why am I blanking on it? A prenatal. And that's because it has a much higher concentration of vitamins in it, which your body, if you have Crohn's, you're not absorbing that much. And you might need a little bit more so that your body can like grab onto more it just ends up like balancing out basically. Of course, always talk to your doctor and what they recommend, but it was recommended to me multiple times. I ended up not doing that because my body doesn't do well with B vitamins. I have not had the gene mutation test done, but now it's getting included in the last like couple of years. Methylated B vitamins just weren't super common, and now it's become more common. And I'm going to be trying, this is not a recommendation because I haven't tried it yet, the parallel of trying to conceive vitamins. They recommend you start 6 months to a year before trying to conceive. I don't know exactly, we haven't really talked about our timeline yet, but either way, these vitamins have such a great balance compared to what I've seen of B vitamins, and they're already just methylated. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to go get a gene mutation test done to see if you have it or not. And what I've also found in other prenatals is that there's such a high concentration of biotin, which you don't really need. Um, it's in a lot of hair and like beauty supplements. But basically, if you're taking too much of that, it can really clog your pores and make you break out. And that's been my experience. This has no biotin and just like the perfect amount of B vitamins, and they're methylated. So I'll be trying that because I've been wanting to get back on a just regular everyday women's multivitamin. And instead of that, this is like just the perfect balance. I think it's just technically a regular multivitamin. I'm not sure the difference because they do have a women's daily multi. I'm not sure what the difference was between the two. Maybe that the B vitamins were a bit higher in the multi. I'm not sure why I picked this one. Now I'm blanking, but definitely worth checking out if you're sensitive to B vitamins just to see if they might work for you. Plus, I'm a sucker for convenience and I buy all my supplements individually currently. So a huge like perk for me is that I can just pay once and it's on a subscription and it's the little packs of vitamins. So you just take the one pack a day. So I really liked that as well because I don't like taking a bunch of different ones. And I'm also really bad with pill size and capsule size. Like I just can't. My tonsils are a little bit bigger, I think, especially after strep. So it's hard for me to swallow pills, and they're all like a smaller size, which I appreciate. So if you're looking for something, definitely check them out. I will follow up if I like them or not. And then lastly, we want to talk about mental fitness because this has been something that I've really been focusing on lately. I was on an SSRI um, when I got Crohn's because I really was not doing well mentally, as you can imagine, during that time, and just felt like I needed a little bit of extra support. I ended up coming off of it 2 years later in, I believe it was like 2024, 2023. And I did really well for a while. And then in the last year, I learned that strep can cause more anxiety. And it typically shows up in children, but can also show up in immunocompromised and elderly adults. And of course, I got those symptoms and they lingered for a while. And I talked to my doctor about it, and she said that it can linger, and some people just need to go on an SSRI to get your brain back up to speed. So that is what I'm doing. And it's one of those things that I really debated for a long time because I always feel like I can be doing better with my routine. And you know what? Eventually there becomes a point where it's like, actually, I think I need to be on something so that my routine can get better. And then that's when I come off of it. And I'm here to say that that's completely true. I am sleeping much better, eating much better, having a much better relationship with myself mentally and physically, and taking care of myself a lot more, which is setting myself up to be more resilient on my own and eventually come back off of the SSRI. So, my routines have consisted of, I have up on my wall a star chart that I made. I'm testing it out. I'm really bad with sticking with journals and things, so I didn't want to just buy a really cute one and have it sit. So I drew one up myself, and on it is meditation 4 times a week, workouts 3 times a week, and that can include hitting 10,000 steps. I figured as I get more consistent, I always find the more consistent I am with being active, the more I actually want to be active. So over time, just steps will progress into me wanting to go to the gym or do more mat Pilates at home and all of that. So I only have that at 3 times a week right now, but it's to keep it simple and attainable so that I don't get down on myself and stop ultimately. Um, I also have reading, which I want to do daily, and I find that I'm very all or nothing across the board. But when it comes to reading, especially because if I'm not into a really good book, then I won't read at all. And it's really hard to like get into something, and then I'll get into something, and that's all I'll do all day is read, and I'll like binge read something. So I need to have a better balance of reading a little bit every day, which I did find if whether or not you're spiritual, the Corey 10 Boom, actually it is definitely more like if you believe in God, then this will be a good fit for you. The Corey 10 Boom 365-day devotional, it has a name. Each New Day, I believe it is. So good. Very like simple. It's a daily thing. I read a couple a day because I got it from the library, and it's very insightful and very inspiring. Um, so if you're interested in that, highly recommend. And I count that as my reading because it's winding me down before bed. It's getting me inspired. I feel like I have better sleep and better dreams because I'm not consuming technology or shows. We've been watching a lot of crime shows. So reading this after that before I go to sleep is definitely helping with my mental health. And then I have journaling daily, which I have not been the best at, but when I got into that for a month or two in the spring, it was so good. All of this stuff was coming out, all of these ideas were coming out. So I want to go back into that as I'm getting better about my schedule. And phone away by 7 or 8 p.m. every night. So I try to be in bed at 9 so that I can read. That almost never happens. But as long as I'm in bed by 10, I try to backtrack and be like, okay, I want an hour to wind down. And before that, I want to like be relaxing with Mike, doing something with him and be totally focused on that, or catching up on like my meditation for the day or journaling or whatever that is. So that's like 2 hours before bed of no phone. And it's been working out really well so far, actually. It's been hard, but I have been at least putting my phone down by an hour before I go to sleep because there's all these things that I do, like washing my face or taking a shower or putting things away before we go to bed or playing with the cats that don't require my phone. So I highly recommend like batching if you have a hard time taking your phone out of your room to sleep. Like I leave it in here in my office, not in the bedroom overnight, and batching all of the stuff like washing your face and all of that the hour before bed. You won't need your phone anyways. So if that's hopefully that's helpful. If that's helpful, let me know. Leave a comment if you're on Substack or YouTube. Um, Let me know what else you would want to hear about and chat about and talk about here. If you want to know about the pelvic pain journey and situation, let me know. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I miss this a lot, and I'm really excited that you all are here. So thank you. Have a great day.